His words ran red, 2 of 7. 20 years later. Harlan. The first man I killed that day was a pitiful thing, more boy than soldier, his hands trembling around the rifle that would never fire. His face, soft with youth, twisted in an awful recognition of death's hand reaching for him, and I, poor, wicked Harlan, was the vessel of its deliverance. I felt no remorse, nor any satisfaction, only the great and terrible momentum of the dance, the thunderous waltz of war, and I was its most eager partner. The battlefield rolled and writhed like a wounded beast, smoke curling from the mouths of cannons like dragon's breath, and the sky above was streaked in scarlet and gold, the colors of glory, of agony, of the great eternal struggle. If I had any poetry left in my bones, it was written in the script of blood and gunpowder. They came at me in waves, grey ghosts with bayonets flashing, their shouts swallowed by the roar of battle. I met them like an old friend meeting the dawn, arms open, welcoming, laughing through the rattle in my lungs. My revolvers sang their sweet dirge, each bullet a punctuation to the hymn of carnage, and I twirled through the smoke like a dancer at a grand ball, my coat snapping behind me, my breath catching only when the sickness tightened its grip. A cavalryman broke from the haze atop a beast that shone like burnished brass in the dying light. He bellowed something righteous, full of fire and conviction, and he raised his saber high. A beautiful, noble fool, too fine a thing for such a filthy end. I caught the blade against my rifle, twisted, and sent it clattering into the mud. His eyes, bright and blue, met mine in a moment of unguarded horror before I sent him to his maker with a shot through the ribs. I had not come here to fight for some cause nor to see the world made whole or better by my hand, for I had no such delusions, and whatever naivete had once dwelled in my breast had long since withered and rotted like all things that do not serve the needs of the dying. I had come here because war was the last frontier, because it was the one place left where a man like me could ride into the maw of death and know that he would not walk out again, and yet here I was, and here they were, and still I stood while the bodies piled high around me and the sky wept fire and the cannons roared like some ancient god crying out for reckoning. I holstered my pistol, breath heavy, chest burning, and looked upon the ruin of the day. The ground was thick with the fallen, the air choked with the perfume of blood and charred flesh, and I stood alone among them, the last guest at a feast gone rotten. I looked to the horizon where the sun was sinking into the earth and the sky was streaked with the red of it, as if the heavens themselves had been bloodied by the things they had borne witness to this day. I coughed and the taste of iron filled my mouth and I spat it into the dirt and watched as the crimson spatter mingled with the filth, my